Peace and blessings, beautiful souls, magnificent beings. Today, allow us to deal effectively with the failure of the so-called leaders of the Black community. And I tread lightly on the term leader because I don't believe anybody has a leader. We have those who have been elected as our representatives. We have teachers, we have guides, we have individuals that may mentor us, but they are not our leaders. You are your leader. You must come to understand that words have power. And this word leader has subtly been used to hypnotize you and I into accepting things that come from individuals that we identify as leaders, accepting these things without critical thinking and or analysis. And this is detrimental to the growth of any individual, the growth of any community, the growth of any nation. Right here, what we have two of these individuals, and I'm gonna break several of them down. We're dealing with Corey. I think this is Hakeem Jeffries, and this is AOC. These individuals represent the so-called blacks in their respective representation in, I believe, the House. I believe both of these individuals are in the House. Maybe Hakeem may be a senator, but I believe he's in the House. But these individuals, again, while they may be fighting for a cause that is just, maybe, most of the time it comes out that these individuals are really in the game to get rich. And many of them have become rich, not ever owning a business and or running a corporation that they have built, and their net worth far exceeds their annual salary. So there's some things going on behind closed doors. But when we look at individuals that are so-called the representatives of the Black community, the Black voice, fighting for Black causes, these individuals have not been able to produce any real change within the Black community. We look at the Black community and we are virtually in the same place that we were, or worse off, 60 some odd years later when we first started to fight for the civil rights and get those laws passed. Again, it takes more than an individual being able to complain about the other party to change the condition of a constituency or a people. It takes individuals who have the ability to build businesses, to organize and create corporations, and not just organize to march and protest. You have to get beyond that. So again, these two individuals, in my opinion, have not met the threshold of the so-called leader. And remember, you are your leader. These are representatives. And the sooner we come to that, and I'm talking about all people. I'm not one of those individuals who just identifies and works for the betterment of Black people. I work for the betterment of all humanity. And yeah, I am Black. I am a descendant of slaves. I understand the unique condition that we have in relationship to this country and government, but that still didn't stop me from voting Republican when I saw how disgruntled the left and how far they had went off the track of what is natural and what is productive. And again, any individuals, AOC, who has not and does not have a family of her own, in my opinion, has not and is not a mother biologically, if this is the case, and I believe it is. No individual who has not yet given birth to life and helped to raise, structure, develop, sacrifice for that human life that totally depends on you coming and stepping up for its formative years in order to make it into its own independency, totally dependent on you, and you refuse to engage in that prerequisite as a leader of a family cannot be a leader of anybody on a national scale and make laws that govern and affect those of us who have engaged in the most necessary thing that any of us can engage in, and that is the reproduction of life. This doesn't make her a good or bad person. It makes her not meet the threshold of that responsibility and that experience of having to raise a life that is totally dependent on her, and proving that she can do what it takes in order to raise that life properly and bring and nurture that life into its own independence. This is my gripe against those who choose not to engage in the reproduction of life, but yet want to govern human life in a political realm. I can't get with that. Now, allow us to bring Jasmine Crockett, and she has displayed a lot of ghettoism in her, even though she's not from the ghetto. According to her history, she went to private school from the 1st to the 12th grade and went to a private college afterwards. But her behavior in many ways is super ratchet and ghetto. And again, this is not to defame her. This is just what has been shown by her, and she makes no excuses about doing it. She actually acts as if it's something that is accepted by so-called black people, as if this is the norm. It is not the norm. She is another individual that has refused, from my knowledge, to engage in the reproduction of life. Therefore, she is not qualified to lead and govern and pass laws that govern human life. She has not engaged in the sacrifice that is necessary to raise a life of your own. There's nothing more important than a woman who brings birth, who brings a child onto this earth, nurtures it, cultivates it, and develops it into a thriving human being. That takes sacrifice far beyond what individuals who refuse to engage in it intentionally have done. So she lacks the prerequisite of being this total responsibility for a life that she has to nurture and bring forth. Therefore, she is not equipped to pass laws to govern other human life. It just is what it is. And beside her is the chief race baiter, Al Sharpton. He has done nothing in the realm of creating corporations, businesses that employ individuals that it's not a nonprofit, meaning he has not created a product that is financing his life and being able to create jobs for others who he say he stands for. My position is this: if you're going to be a politician or you're going to be a spokesperson for any group of people, then you should have the acumen to build businesses, employ people, and give them a out, instead of always complaining and railing against a system in which the railing against the system has changed nothing for the productivity within the said community. And I'm talking about the black community at this point. There are other communities that have and are not thriving. But again, we have been given individuals who have never built a business, who have never cultivated a product that can employ and actually take care of the needs of the people and give the people jobs who they say they represent as the leaders of the black community, etc. This doesn't work. This is a failed strategy, and you see it is still a failed strategy. So all they can do is rage against the machine, in which most of these individuals have become wealthy because of the system of capitalism, meaning They are getting wealthy from the taxpayer dollars of a capitalistic society upon which you and I work for our money, and we have that money extorted and taken from us, and these individuals are funneling a lot of these monies or this money into NGOs, nonprofits, etc., where they are getting kickbacks. And again, they are engaging in the same system that they want to rail against, but again, they are a part of a system. Now let's allow Charlemagne the God to come up. I don't know how he got the name Charlemagne the God. He has become very successful. Again, from my knowledge, he is not an individual that has created a corporation or built a business that employs hundreds or thousands of individuals, and somehow he is a spokesperson for Black people as well. Not to take anything away from his articulation and his personality, which obviously has garnered him a lot of money, and he has invested, etc., that money into certain things. But to my knowledge, he has not built a business, built a corporation that employs individuals that he say that he stands for, that gives them the opportunity to make money, etc. These individuals cannot be the leader of any group unless you have built a business or you're building businesses that employ many people, that feeds the financial need that these people have, and that is part of a capitalistic society. You being rich and famous does not make them or their life better. You railing against the system does not make their life better. If it did, you would see a change in the Black community. The Black community is still at the bottom of the socio-economic platter with all the billion and millionaires that we have. We need to choose individuals who have built businesses, who are Black, who have corporations that are employing people that are doing great things. If you were to have a leader, that would be a leader. I don't recognize individuals as leader. I recognize them as guides, representatives, etc. I am my own leader, and you are your own leader. I've had many guides, I have many teachers, I have many people who have represented me, and I have many people who have given me opportunity. So I'm not saying that I haven't learned from individuals. I have learned from many individuals, and individuals have been of great asset to me that have given me opportunities. But I am my own leader, and you are as well. So we must look at these individuals as representatives of what it is that we want to bring forth. Now let's bring up my man Stephen A. Smith. Lately he has been talking a little bit of sense when it comes on the political scene, but again, he still is not an individual that has built a business that employs people, that produces a product that alleviates the suffering of the people that he say he represents. He has made a ton of money himself, most of it by talking smack against individuals when it comes to sports. He's very articulate, and again, some of his positions and his willingness to stand up against the Democratic Party and say certain things that most individuals who voted for Kamala Harris would not say. I respect him on that front. Before then, I had very little respect for him, but now I have more respect for him in a certain arena, and I still don't agree with a lot of the things that he says out of his mouth. And again, these are the individuals that you are being fed as your leader. Now, this last guy, he's a career race hustler, Roland Polley Martin, a career race hustler and an individual that, to my knowledge, didn't engage in the reproduction of life, meaning having his own biological kids. So he cannot be a voice for individuals on a political stage or guiding individuals to a political party in order to get their votes. He is not a leader. And again, you know my position on leaders. If there are to be any leaders, there have to be leaders that have built businesses, that have employed individuals, that have tangibly done something to create jobs to help to alleviate the suffering of the people they say they represent. And this is why we must come to understand that we are our own leaders, and that we are, and I'm talking about all human beings. I'm not just talking about black people. You are your own leader. These individuals that they put forth as our leaders, they are our representatives. If they're not representing what is best for us individually and collectively as a nation, then they don't have your best interest at heart. All systems have flaws. All political systems, all financial systems have flaws. But the best system that is on the boards today is capitalism, and it has many flaws. But I'm sure you would want to be in a system and the other systems that are running the world where you are a communist, a socialist system, a dictatorship, a true dictatorship, not what they keep trying to label Trump as. And you will see the very difference between the ability to create a life for yourself in a capitalistic society. Even though it has major flaws, it has did very detrimental, horrible, barbaric things. But at the end of the day, this is the best system in play amongst all the systems of government on the planet. And we must come to that point, and we must utilize and learn to be effective within the system and to hold the system effective, accountable. And this is from all people. I'm not just talking about black people. And this will bring about the greatest change that you and I could see in this society. One thing you must understand is this: for those who claim to hate America but are American, hate the system but are in the system, if America was to fall to any enemy nation, you would be treated as you are an American and that you loved America, and you would be dominated and taken advantage of, possibly killed, etc. So again, you must think about what it is that you want. Even though we have issues within the system, you must understand that if the system fails and others come and dominate and causes the system to fail another country, another nation, you will suffer majorly. And if you have kids, offspring, grandkids, they will suffer as well. And this is the nature of the world we live in. If it was different, I would applaud it, but this is what we are living in. So we must understand what is actual, not what is wanted, even though we can work towards what is wanted. 5 Level Coaching, hit me up. Have a beautiful day. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe and share. Peace.